Good afternoon. My name is Jeremy Castle. It is September 16th, 2022, and I will be working on my Gunsmithing Tools lab, in which I will be detail stripping my SIG P320, just to show you it's safe. We'll be going through that process and showing you how to fully disassemble. Disclaimer, I do not have the tools or know-how at the moment to take off the sights because they are dovetail sights, so I will be leaving those alone, and I'll also be leaving the sight and the flashlight on. Simply, I don't want to ruin the Zero, and I do kind of have a janky duct tape fix for this. Like, without the duct tape, it's super wobbly on there, and that is a problem I have noted. So we'll begin. So to get started, you're going to ensure the weapon is unsafe and pointing in a safe direction. There is no safety on this weapon, so we'll immediately move to remove the source of feed, empty magazine, lock the slide back to the rear, and ensure there is no ammunition inside the chamber or on the bolt face. All ammunition has been removed. Next, you're going to move on to the basic field strip, which you're going to rotate the takedown lever all the way, release the slide lock, removing the slide from the frame. We're going to set the frame aside for now. You're going to remove the recoil spring and op rod. This is an assembly. It's as far as you need to go. Remove the barrel. And then here is the basic field strip. So we're going to go a little bit further, starting with the slide. And we're going to take down the striker and remove the extractor. So to start, you're going to take your punch, just a small little punch, and this little nub right here, you're going to depress, which will remove tension off the back plate, which you can then slide out, ease the tension off so this doesn't go flying. So you get the back plate, it would normally slide right there. Just slide it out. We're going to put it in our magnetic little bowl. Next, you're going to remove the the extractor spring and the nub. Set that in there. Now you can remove the extractor. Super easy. Small parts. Super easy. Set that there. Now we move on to the striker, which is pretty easy. You just pull backwards, keeping tension on the side, and then minus the sight, which I will leave on, and the iron sights, which I do not have the tools to remove, so I will not be removing. Set that there, and we can look at the striker. If you look at the striker, it's pretty simple. If you look right here, you have this little spring. So from here, if you want to take all this apart, simply decompress the striker spring and remove, goodness, this is a pain. If you not a difficult task, it's just hand-eye coordination. Okay, I see. Got it. And this piece, it's just like a seat, just like a little clip. And it would stick on there. Remove the spring, that piece right there. From here, be able to take this off. You need to just pull this back. It's pretty easy. Normally. See, this part, striker lock, actually retains. I'll show you once I get it disassembled. Just need this spring to come out. There we go. Spring. Oop. Definitely don't want to lose that spring. Come on. I'm struggling to get this out of here, I'm not gonna lie. There we go. Got it up. Alright, so that little spring right here would be right there, keeping tension up on this little lock so that the striker can't go forward, because as you'd see, it would be not protruding, but when this lock is released, it can go forward. As you can see, well, this is as far forward as it's going. Drop that and go forward. That's how it'd actually be able to strike the primer. Let's get this piece out of here. And then that is all the parts for the slide. So now we're going to move on to the frame and the fire control group, which is pretty simple takedown. So this takedown lever is what holds it in there, basically. Once you get that out, what you can do is lift up right here. Once you got that, you're going to push out. See where it would slide in against rails. And then you got the lower. So from here, you get the fire control group. Then, so now that we've got this out, and I was looking at it and doing some research, I'm not all too comfortable with my current skill level and the information I have with disassembling this rear part. However, I can go ahead. What I am comfortable doing is removing the slide catch, and I can remove the trigger and transfer bar, or trigger bar. So for slide catch, slide lock, I'm going to take this pin out, do it again so you can see. I hate pins. There we go. Alright, so here, grab, pull it out, set it right there, and then make sure you keep tension on it when you pull that out, because it is under spring tension. Let me see right here. So it's a two-part spring. It's got the spring itself, and then it's got this little plug that sits right there to keep it in place. And then for the trigger, it's a little bit tricky. It took me a while to get it, so I finally got it off first time. So what you want to do is, as far as I know, the only way I know how to do it is you kind of have to deform the spring. So you're going to pull out, and back, out, up and back, and that'll disconnect the trigger. It'll push the trigger forward and disconnect the trigger from the trigger bar, so you can slide the trigger out and then just being careful not to lose that spring, release the spring tension, and it comes right off. As I was watching and looking, I was not comfortable with my given experience and time allotment to fully disassemble this rear part. Tool wise, I have it all, however I'm not that comfortable, so I will not be disassembling any further. However, I will reassemble, which does take some time and finagling. So we're going to start putting the spring right there. So what you're going to, so you get the spring, the long arm, and the middle, the small arm. So you're going to take the small arm and loop it through there, holding that in place. Take the trigger bar, going to insert like so. And what you're going to want to do is have it further back than it needs to be. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Try this again. Right. Keep it back further. Keep it back further than you need. And you're going to insert. This is tricky to be sure. To go. Oh, it's frustrating. Go up, over. God damn it. Okay, so you got it in. You're gonna keep tension. So we got it to line up. As you see, it's further back than it needs to be. And it's lined up with the trigger. And then what you're going to do is keeping tension where those two meet. You're going to lift up, over, and in to where it needs to be. And it'll fall right into place. Everything, as you can see, the sear disconnect is dropping. Everything's in place. Maybe one day with a little bit more experience, I'll be able to fully disassemble this. However, and with my current knowledge set, is not my wheelhouse. So next, we're gonna put this back, put the slide lock back in place. To do that, I found the best way is you're just gonna take any punch, kind of hold it into place. Get it roughly lined up. Hold it in place with the punch. Well, don't drop it. So you're gonna hold the spring in place with the punch. Bring this over here. Keep dropping pieces. Good gracious. And we're gonna sort of zoom in here just a little bit so you can see. Gotta find that spring. There it is. That's why you keep a magnet on you. So stuff like this doesn't happen. Alright, so we're gonna keep that right there. Move it into place. There we go. That was a bit easier. You're gonna find the pin. There we go. And then you got the fire control group assembled. We're just gonna put it back into place, starting but kind of going at an angle. So you can see there's a slot right there. So you're wanting to line that piece up with the slot, pull the trigger so that it gets out of the way, because you'll see the trigger kind of gets caught. Press the trigger, it'll slide out of the way, locks into place. Pull it back a little bit more. Kind of gotta make sure it aligns perfectly. Take your takedown lever. Kind of gotta rotate it till it gets where you need it. Then once you get it to the other hole, it takes a little bit of force and some angle to get it in fully to the other side. There we go. So what I found is, like, have it here and then push as you're rotating it, and it should lock right back in. So we got the frame done. Now we're gonna move on to probably one of the more frustrating parts because of all the tiny springs and such. But we're going to move to the striker assembly. So we're going to start putting the little tiny spring in that little slot. You can see it. And then we're going to take this, insert this here. Slides right in. Take this, you're gonna press this down so it'll slide all the way in. See, oh, that just came right out. So I don't know if you saw that, but that little spring came out. Try that again without losing the spring this time. Did it again. Alright. Why is it doing this? Magnetized? It is slightly magnetized. Okay. I see what's happening. Alright. So the spring has become magnetized. There we go, got it that time. Alright, so spring's in there, that's there. Next we're going to, frustratingly enough, next we're going to take this little spring and put it on that little knob. So the way it's supposed to be assembled is the little leg of the spring goes there, the big leg goes there, and well, see, no problem at all. You're just gonna have to keep your finger there to keep it from coming out. So next, gonna want to grab this spring, compress it while you have this, because it's going to clip on to that thinner area right there. Alright, as you see, it's clipped on and she's there. Alright, so we're going to set that there right now. Grab this, grab our extractor. The extractor is pretty simple. It literally just slides right in. Boom, there you go. Going to take this, slide it in, and then it's in there, kind of. So neat little, I don't know if it's supposed to do that or like it was a design feature or if it's just how the machining works together, but if you press down the lock it shoots back, but if you press it all the way forward it kind of locks itself into place. It doesn't come back as far. But if you were to like hold this down, spring tension, you lock it in place, it's not going anywhere unless you pull it out, because you can still pull it out, but just a neat little assistance there. So next what we're going to do is you can kind of start the back plate by pressing in on the striker group using, you can use your finger or you can use a punch. If you're going to use a punch, use the wider side, the back end of it. So you just want to get the back plate started. There. And then you got to insert the extractor spring at a specific angle. Keep it. You just take a smaller punch, press down on that nipple, and lock it into place. Now, I don't have any snap caps, so I can't really check. Cannot check the function like the extracting and ejecting, just because snap caps are, I just haven't gotten it yet. I need to. But we're going to finish assembling. Drop the barrel in. Recoil spring, op rod, assembly. Make sure takedown lever's all the way back still. Back to the rear. And we're going to pull the trigger, hold the trigger, rack back, let go. Trigger resets. Empty magazine. That works. That works. Slide release. Magazine release works. And it all functions.